Stores from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We got Virginia. They're at Grand Street, Norfolk, VA, 317. Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 8 p.m. to their Shabbat starts at 12 to 4. Wow, Ave, Suite 1A. The classes are the same as Virginia's. San Antonio, there are 4444 Walton Road, Suite 201, San Antonio, Texas, 87218. Their class days and times are the same as ours, but they start 30 minutes later, a little bit later. The upcoming feast, PRM, it's going to be March 14th. All right, starting at sundown, March 12th through 14th. And just a friendly reminder, Passover will start April 20th, and then we have the expo April 13th, which is the day after. Okay, so ready? We're doing Passover in Rochester, Virginia. Rochester, New York. So please, right? There's a blame. That's the combination.
How do we get there?
It's like really blurry though.
Yeah, it is.
The Wi-Fi?
Con.
It's all clear up.
All right. We do have the podcast with that is on Podbean. Podbean. That is on. So, and that's 11 to 10. All right. We got other YouTube channels. Other YouTube channels are really popular. Check them out. Check out the shorts that we got on our channel. Check out the shorts we got on VA channel. Check out the shorts for Rochester. The 5 minutes of wisdom YouTube channel. The Hidden Truth Bible Show. The Israelite Media Corp. Israelite Media Corp is doing some really renovative things when it comes to this. These 757-300-4047 or please spot the ZOP at 303-557-8979 or please Zionala at 346-234-8340.
That's good.
All right, and if you want to make any donations, please hit up one of the priests. They can give you the Cash App or the Wells Fargo info so that you can send in your donations. Or if there's anything you want to mail to a school, they can give you a good address where you can mail those items. We still have the sweet ambiance pumping. It's always pumping because you got to stay smelling good, not summertime, but all of the time. All right, check us out. You can check us out here at sweetambiance.com. And that's it for the announcements. Great class for today. I'm excited.
Excuse me. So shalom, y'all. It's nice and crispy. Yeah, nice and crispy. Today's class is going to be titled Hebrew Morale. I suck with titles. I don't know if I want to title it Hebrew Morale, but the class is going to be over morale. Just title it Morale. Just title it Morale. And anybody know what morale means? Anybody know what morale means? Okay, so I'll read what morale means.
Oh, he put his hand up.
What you got?
Just our memories, like how,
Because you were in the military.
okay,
Go ahead.
so it's like if you pretty much like a positive, it could be positive or negative.
Exactly. And I'm glad you answered it that way.
It's a feeling.
It's a feeling, right? So, the scripture says, we're pretty much at war, right? This is a spiritual war. And what kind of like gave me the idea to do this class is I'm always like looking into like what's going on with Ukraine, Russia, and that actual war that's going on right now. And one thing that they always talk about is how the morale for Ukraine is really low because it's a war of nutrition, right? So a war of nutrition pretty much means it's going to be
Contrition.
No, it's nutrition.
You said nutrition?
It's a war of nutrition, yeah. It's not contrition, it's nutrition. So what it means is like it's gonna be a long, drawn out war. You see what I'm saying? So I mean, you can look it up. But pretty much what Russia is doing with them is they're dragging it out. They can end it like that if they want to, but instead they drag it out and they make the Ukrainian army really tired. And they dying, they wounded, they don't got no food, it's cold as hell over there. So what happens to them while they're fighting? If you are in that situation, it's cold as hell, you in Ukraine where it's like negative, it's in the negatives, you cold as hell, all your people done died, ain't no electricity in the land, you don't have no food, and everybody around you is dying, you probably injured, and you fighting a war that you know that you can't win. How you gonna feel?
Negative.
You gonna feel what?
Negative.
You gonna feel negative. You gonna be like, man, what the hell am I doing this for? Right? So in other words, your morale is now low. So they always talk about how Ukraine's morale is low. So the definition for morale is an emotional and mental state of an individual or a group. So I'm gonna tie this into the truth, and I'm gonna tie this into, just being an Israelite, being a part of a body and being a part of a camp. Things ain't always gonna go as smooth. And even for a husband and a wife, things ain't always gonna go as smooth. For brothers, relationship with sisters, things ain't always gonna go as smooth. And there's gonna be times, trust and believe, that you will be doing this work and your morale will be low as hell. You will feel emotionally. I'm gonna hit this definition real quick and then we'll come back to it later on in the class too. But there is gonna be times where you feel discouraged. There is gonna be times when you feel disconnected. There is gonna be times when you feel apathetic. Not pathetic, but apathetic. And the definition for apathetic is a lack of interest, a lack of enthusiasm, a lack of concern. And it says it describes a state of being indifferent or unresponsive to emotional, social, or other aspects of life. Someone who is apathetic shows little to no motivation towards events, issues, or activities. Y'all see what I'm saying? So why am I bringing this out? Because this is a reality when you are in the truth. So I'm not gonna sit here and act like, it's always just peaches and roses. Like, you go through a lot of tests. But it's not just about the truth. Like, every relationship goes through these situations too. It goes through these ups and downs. But if you ever wonder why brothers come and they be a part of the school or a part of the body, and the next thing you know they're gone, or sisters come and they be around a part of the school or a part of the body, and next thing you know they're gone, a lot of the times it's because during this spiritual war that we're all going through, your morale becomes extremely low. Your morale, remember, is everything I just went over in this definition. And those experiences happen in the truth. And when it happens, if you're not strong enough, if you're not mentally fortified to be able to go through the ups and downs of it, then yeah, you'll burn away. And this isn't something far-fetched, because think about it, why we got all these depressive songs from
David.
From who?
David.
Yep. So let's go to Psalms chapter 100 and verse 1.
And the terminology is war of attrition.
War of attrition, my bad.
This man said nutrition, and I'm like, wait.
You said contrition.
I did. I was gonna say we both wrong. I said contrition. We both wrong.
Bro, you know when you said
But when you
contrition,
said nutrition, I was like, are they fasting?
No, bro, when you said contrition, I started thinking about
Contrite.
No, I started thinking about
Contra,
video
the
game.
video game.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Oh, wow.
When you said nutrition, I'm like, wait, are they starving them out?
I mean, they kind of
so
are.
that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, nutrition. Like,
They kind of are starving them out. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, we got it.
It's all good. First day back, and this is how brothers get treated. It's all
Hey,
good.
you got that strong accent, huh?
My tongue do feel heavy though.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying.
Feels
That
and talking.
strong accent, huh?
All right, so Psalms 101.
That strong English accent. Psalms what?
100 and verse 1.
Psalm chapter 100, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Make a joyful noise unto the Lord,
Uh-huh.
all ye lands.
Go ahead.
Serve the Lord with gladness.
Uh-huh.
Come before his presence with singing.
And how does this sound? Don't this sound happy as hell? I mean, it sounds very happy. This is how it should be whenever you serve the Most High. It should be a joyful noise. It says, serve the Lord with gladness. Come before his presence with singing. What's up?
It sounds like somebody's rousing somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're giving them a
Look, it says a psalm of praise. So you're happy, you're roused up. You're trying to rouse others up as well. Go ahead.
Know ye that the Lord, he is God.
Go ahead.
It is he that hath made us,
Uh-huh.
and not we ourselves.
Go ahead.
We are his people,
Uh-huh.
and the sheep of his pasture.
Now there is a reason why I'm starting here, because this verse 3 is gonna go into it too. I want y'all to keep this verse 3 as we, carry on in the class. Like, the Most High, he is our power. He made us. I'm sorry, Yahweh, he is our power. He made us. We didn't make ourselves. We are his people and the sheep of his pasture. Keep that in mind. Go ahead.
Enter into his gates with thanksgiving,
Uh-huh.
and into his courts with praise.
Go ahead.
Be thankful unto him,
Uh-huh.
and bless his name.
Go ahead.
For the Most High is good.
Uh-huh.
His mercy is everlasting,
Uh-huh.
and his truth endured to all generations.
So this is, happiness. Come to the Most High with joyfulness, happiness, gladful, praise, all that, right? This is what he requires, and this is what we should do, right? Exodus 15 and 18, really quick. Exodus chapter 15 and verse 18.
Exodus chapter 15, verse 18.
Uh-huh.
The Lord shall reign forever and ever.
Go ahead.
For the house of
For
Pharaoh,
the horse of Pharaoh.
for the horse of Pharaoh
Uh-huh.
went in with his chariots
Uh-huh.
and with his horsemen into the sea.
Go ahead.
And the Lord brought again the waters of the sea upon them.
Go ahead.
But the children of Israel went on dry land in the midst of the sea.
Go ahead.
And Miriam, the prophetess, the sister of Aaron, took a timbrel in her hand.
Uh-huh.
And all the women went out after her with timbrels and with dances.
So this is right after the Most High destroyed Pharaoh and his army, right? A happy, joyous moment, right? Such a happy and joyous moment that Miriam, the prophetess, the sister of Aaron, took a timbrel with all the women, and now they're singing and they're dancing, praising the Most High, right? Read on, verse 15.
Verse 21.
Oh, verse 21. Yeah, my bad. Go
Verse
ahead.
21.
Uh-huh.
And Miriam answered them, sing ye to the Lord,
Uh-huh.
for he hath triumphed gloriously.
Yeah, morale is high. We happy. Go ahead.
The horse and his rider hath he thrown into the sea.
Now let's read verse 22. Go ahead.
So Moses brought Israel from the Red Sea.
And isn't this a happy moment? Like, we got delivered from Egypt. We saw all of them. We saw all of them drown to death, including their horses. And we're good now, right? Moses brings us out from the Red Sea. Now we're in the wilderness of Shur. Go ahead.
And they went out into the wilderness of Shur. And they went 3 days in the wilderness and found no water.
Dun dun dun. You think we still happy? You think we still dancing? You think them timbrels still still shaking? You think they still singing? Now, you've been delivered. You've been delivered from the hands of the Egyptians. Now you about to serve me. First thing we gonna do is fast. 3 days, no food, no water. In the wilderness, in the hot ass wilderness, in the hot ass desert wilderness. What happened to all the singing and the dancing? Where'd all that go? The morale was just high when things was all good. But how you think their morale is now? I mean, I kind of stopped it there. We didn't, but y'all know what happened after this. And y'all know what kept happening in the wilderness. And why did a lot of that kept happening in the wilderness? Because the morale became low. Because here we are trying to clean ourselves up for the Most High and to be good and presentable unto the Most High. And it comes with a cost. It doesn't feel good. So we become unhappy. Let's go to Matthew 5 and 8. Matthew 5 and verse 8.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 8.
Uh-huh.
Blessed are the pure in heart.
Blessed are the what?
Pure in heart.
Go ahead.
For they shall see the Most High.
For they shall what?
See the Most High.
So it says, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see the Most High, right? See, when it comes time for us to go through the things that we got to go through, if your heart isn't pure, then you won't see the Most High. You know why? Because life, this life that we live, this life that we lead is filled with challenges. It's filled with a whole bunch of challenges. It's filled with a whole bunch of obstacles that you gotta face and that you gotta think your way through and that you gotta overcome daily. Not just within yourself, but dealing with your rib, dealing with your husband, dealing with your children, dealing with the brothers and the sisters around you, dealing with brothers, dealing with sisters, dealing with the everyday life. Can you keep a pure outlook when the Most High brings all these things your way? Because He is, and He does. Every day. You may get a day or two where things is Gucci, but a lot of the times, man, listen, man, I wake up every day like, man, what the hell am I doing? I wake up every day like, man, like, what the hell? But how many of us wake up like that? But what about with the person that you're working with? You start waking up like, man, I gotta work with this person. This is the person I gotta work with. This is the person I gotta deal with. This is the person that I gotta be patient with and give them the opportunity to get to the level where I'm at. You see what I'm saying? On top of all the other issues that you gotta deal with. But can you keep your mind pure? Because it says, blessed are those that are pure in heart, because you'll see the Most High. Why will you be able to see the Most High? Because there'll be a lot of things that gets cleaned up in you. That makes you presentable to the Most High. But if our hearts ain't pure, if our minds ain't pure as we go through the things that we go through, then we ain't gonna make it to see that day. So let's go to Psalms 41. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 41 and verse 12.
Psalm chapter 41, verse 12.
Uh-huh.
And as for me, thou upholdest me in mine integrity.
You get upholded by the Most High in your what?
Integrity.
Go ahead.
And settest me before thy face forever.
So yeah, you'll get an opportunity if you're pure in heart to see the Most High, but the Most High is always looking at you. He's always looking at you. And He upholds you in your integrity. So because He upholds you in your integrity, what does that mean? That means that He's constantly putting you in positions to test your integrity, to test your character, to test what you're about, to test your righteousness, to test your mental fortitude, your mental and your spiritual fortitude, to test how righteous of a man and how righteous of a woman you are. He constantly puts us in these predicaments to see where our integrity is at. Next one, 1 Kings chapter 9 and verse 4. But the Most High is always watching. He's always watching. 1 Kings 9 and 4.
1 Kings chapter 9, verse 4.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And if thou wilt walk before me, as David thy father walked,
go ahead.
in integrity of heart.
And in what?
Integrity of heart.
This is what the Most High wants. The Most High wants us to walk in our integrity. David walked in his integrity even after he fell. He always did what was right. He always kept his mind in the right place. Go ahead.
And in uprightness.
So I know right now he's telling this. He's telling this to Solomon. But he's telling this to us too. He's telling this also to us, even now. Go ahead.
To do according to all that I have commanded thee. And will keep my statutes and my judgments.
Go ahead.
Then I will establish the throne of thy kingdom upon Israel forever.
Go ahead.
As I promised to David thy father, saying, there shall not fail thee a man upon the throne of Israel.
Come on, let's go to 1 John chapter 3 and verse 1. So as long as we do what we got to do, as long as you keep your morale high and your thoughts pure, then the Most High will establish you and your seed forever. And isn't that what we want? I mean, isn't that what y'all want?
Come.
1 John chapter 3 verse 1 through 3.
1 John chapter 3, verse 1. Behold, what manner of love the Father hath bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of God.
Go ahead.
Therefore, the world knoweth us not,
Go ahead.
because it knew him not.
Go ahead.
Beloved, now are we the sons of God,
Go ahead.
and it doeth not yet appear what we shall be.
Go ahead.
But we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him.
Why shall we be like him when he appears? We don't know what the hell we're going to be like when that time comes. But we know that when that time comes, we're going to be just like Christ. Why is that? Well, simply put, was Christ's life easy when he walked?
No.
No, he wasn't. Was any of the prophets' life just peaches and cream?
Nah.
Ice cream and cheesecake?
No.
Cheesecake.
Yeah, cheesecake. What's the thing that Abishai always makes? Brisket. Yeah, like just brisket. Smoked brisket for some hours. Like, life ain't always like that. But the thing is that when Christ comes, we know that we're going to be just like him. Why? Because we live the same life that he lived. We went through the same things that he went through. We drunk the same cup that he drunk. We got to keep our minds elevated out of the crap and not pulled down into the dumps. Y'all see what I'm saying? So we'll be able to see him the same way because we live the same way. Read on.
For we shall see him as he is. And every man that hath this hope in him purifieth himself.
He does what?
Purifieth himself.
So listen, there's only one way we purify ourselves. John did it with water. Christ did it with fire. So we must go through a lot of the things that we go through. And in going through these things that we got to go through, a lot of it is meant to kill your morale and to have your morale in the lower parts of hell. And again, when you have low morale, you're disconnected, you're discouraged, you have a lack of interest, a lack of enthusiasm, a lack of concern. Things just go south. And a lot of the times when things go south, we don't even know why it goes. So we can't even tell you why. Let's go to Job 27 and verse 1. And then we'll jump to the second point. Job 27 verse 1.
Job chapter 27, verse 1. Moreover, Job continued his parable and said, as God liveth, who have taken away my judgment, and the Almighty who hath vexed my soul.
Who have what?
who hath vexed my soul.
So who's gonna vex your soul? The Almighty is gonna vex your soul. So now you understand, way back in Matthew when we went to blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see the Most High. Because if somebody's vexing your soul, do you even want to see this, a person that's vexing your soul?
Nah.
Do you even want to deal with a person that's vexing your soul?
No.
Who the hell happy? Who's happy when their soul is vexed?
Nobody.
Who's keeping a pure mindset when your soul is vexed? When every day of your life is vexed, it's vexation. And you got to sit here and battle your vexation and battle the things. No matter who it comes, and who does the vexation comes from in this life, in this walk? Who vexes you?
Your brothers.
Your brothers? Damn, okay. I'm messing with you. But no, that's actually right along with the class. Your brothers is gonna vex you. Your sisters is gonna vex you. Your husband, your wife, your children is gonna vex you. You know why? Because they're the closest ones to you. Somebody out in the world can't really vex you like that. They can irritate you a little bit, but they shouldn't necessarily vex you. They can irritate you, but at some point, you're just like, yeah, bro, you just a nigga in the world, whatever. You just gonna say something, Gun?
No, to answer your question, those closest to you, was you.
Oh. Yeah, that's who's gonna vex you. Who do we want to be closer to in this world than the Most High? But it says He vexes our soul. Read on.
Verse 3.
Uh-huh.
All the while my breath is in me,
Uh-huh.
and the Spirit of God is in my nostrils.
Go ahead.
My lips shall not speak wickedness.
But even through the vexations that the Most High gives us, that He brings to the table, you want to keep your integrity and your lips don't speak wickedness. You don't blaspheme the Most High. You don't question the Most High. You don't doubt the Most High. Go ahead.
Nor my tongue utter deceit.
Go ahead.
God forbid that I shall justify you.
Uh-huh.
Till I die, I will not remove mine integrity from me.
You see that? So it's about keeping and holding your integrity. And guess what? It's very easy to lose your integrity when your morale is low. When you don't feel good. When you feel beat down. When you feel dejected and when you feel disconnected. And when you feel like there's no hope. When you feel like ain't nothing gonna change. When you feel like people around you don't understand you, don't care about you. It's very easy. It's very, very easy for you to lose your integrity and say something or do something that is out of character that you can't come back from because your integrity is low, because your morale is low. And you'll say things and you'll make decisions and you'll make moves that drastically changes your life. And a lot of the times there's no coming back from it. Go ahead.
Verse 6.
Uh-huh.
My righteousness I hold fast.
And that's your integrity. That's what you're holding on to. You're holding on to your righteousness. Even when everything in you and everything around you is telling you, screw your righteousness. Move off of how you feel. Say what you want to say. Do what you want to do. So you can feel the way that you truly think you should feel. So you should get what you think you truly should get. So you could get the respect or the honor that you really think that you deserve or that you're warranted. Go ahead.
And I will not let it go.
Uh-huh.
My heart shall not reproach me so long as I live.
Remember, your heart is your mind. And when we get like this, your mind is now in a reproachful situation to you. It's a reproach. Because at the end of the day, when you move off of it, the only thing that you have to look at when it's all said and done is just regret and shame. Numbers 13 and 30. Y'all feeling me or what? Numbers 13 and 30.
Numbers chapter 13, verse 30.
Uh-huh.
And Caleb stilled the people before Moses and said, let us go up at once and possess it, for we are well able to overcome it.
So this is Caleb with his high morale ass, right? He's like, yeah, let's go. We can do it. We can do it. We can take over. We kill all these giants.
Kłania się.
But here's the low morale niggas in the back. Bro, they're tall as hell. They got bigger swords and bigger helmets and bigger muscles and they're faster. He's like, yeah, we can go up and overcome it. Y'all boys tripping. Come on, let's tell Moses we can go do it. Oh man, Caleb tripping. Verse 31.
Verse 31. But the man that went up with him said, we be not able to go up against the people, for they are stronger than we. And they brought up an evil report of the land which they had searched unto the children of Israel, saying, the land through which we have gone to search it is a land that eateth up the inhabitants thereof. And all the people that we saw in it are men of a great stature.
Go ahead.
And there we saw the giants, the son of Anak, which comes of the giants. And we were in our own sights as grasshoppers. And so we were in their sight.
And what did that do? Well, that brought down the morale of the people. That brought down the confidence. Y'all see what I'm saying? So now let's go into the second point. The first point was actually just titled, what is morale? The second point is low morale destroys. So we're gonna talk about like how low morale will destroy you. If you don't, if you don't catch it. So again, the definition, now is actually, I've been hitting this definition a lot, but I'm gonna hit it again because it's important. So the definition for a low morale, for having a low morale, is when you feel discouraged. So what we just read about with these giants is Caleb having high morale and the rest of the people having low morale because they were discouraged at the sight of the giants. So it says to feel discouraged, then apathetic, not pathetic, but apathetic, and it says disconnected. Then apathetic refers to a lack of interest, enthusiasm, or concern. It describes a state of being indifferent or unresponsive to emotional, social, and or other aspects of life. Someone who is apathetic shows little to no motivation towards events, issues, or activities. And that comes from having a low morale. And again, when you look at places where low morale can creep in for us in a body, you can have low morale against your brothers, against your sisters, against the husband, with your wife, anywhere where there's supposed to be this group working towards a goal, the morale can be low. The morale of your house can be low, which means that your house is not happy, which means that your house is just down. Everything is just negative. You see what I'm saying? The morale of the body, the morale of the school can be low, which means that everybody's just like, man, like everything is just going wrong. The morale between brothers can be low. The morale between sisters can be low. Or it's like, dang, everything that could go wrong is just going wrong. Ain't nothing going right. So what happens? You feel discouraged. You fighting, you trying your best, but you don't see nothing changing. You don't see nothing getting better. So you're discouraged. You don't see no hope. You don't see no way out. You fighting, you praying, you trying to apply scriptures, and it's like things ain't going your way. You keep getting the short end of the stick. The things you pray for don't happen. You busting your ass every day. You tired as hell. Things just don't go the way you want it to go. And it's not because you're not trying. It's not because you're not trying to build or to push the body forward, or to push the brotherhood forward, or to push the sisterhood forward, or to push your household forward, to push your marriage forward, to push your kids forward. it ain't like you're not trying. You trying your best. You applying, you praying for it, and things just ain't going the way that you would want it to go.
It's actually getting worse.
If anything, yeah, it gets worse. So what does that naturally do? When it's been like that for weeks, yeah, a couple of days, yeah, it's cool.
Frustrated.
A couple of weeks, yeah, it's cool. What happens when it's a couple of months? What happens when it starts turning into years? And it keeps adding. And it's just like, damn, like, what did you say it was?
I said you can get frustrated.
You can get frustrated, yep.
Frustration can start to kick in. Depression can kick in. Anger can kick in.
Yep.
Like all the resentment, like you can start resenting leadership because it's like, oh man, it's because of them we in this type of situation.
Yep.
Like we brought up the example of when we came out of Egypt. Who did the people blame? Moses. So it like they started resenting even coming out of slavery.
Yep.
Their whole morale was down because they went on this fast and they on this journey and things ain't all peaches and cream for them like they expected it to be. Look, like the Bible says, when you come to serve the Lord, prepare yourself for temptation.
Yep.
And then in the process of even coming out, right, to serve the Lord, it's like, yes, I'm an Israelite. Okay, I'm part of a body of believers. People think and believe like I believe. I believe the Bible. They believe the Bible. Kwam Yashala, fringes, headbands, tunics, girdles. But then after that hype goes away, and then we start to fall into this trap of you're not seeing no progress. You want, instead of things getting better, that fire is starting to get turned up on you. Things get mundane. You start to fall into this slump. Like the whole class is the low morale. That morale hits a lot of different things. It hits a lot of different people different ways. Like I named out a few: anger, depression, self-doubt. You can be doubting yourself. You can be saying, "Hey, this is me. It's because of me that things aren't happening the way it should.
Yeah.
I'm such a horrible person." Or you can be like the people who were in the wilderness, start blaming somebody else, pass the buck.
Yep.
But it hurts, and if you get into this habit, right? See, this low morale can become a habit. When it's a habit, then you're just stuck in the same cycle of things just ain't getting better. You never see the good.
That's called depression.
That's the depression. You never see the good.
Yeah.
The good can be there, but your mind is not fixed on it. Therefore, you will never see it. Now, and there was this. I was listening to radio one day on the way to the mall, and the lady on the radio, she said, "Okay," she said, if you got $100 for every red car that you've seen on your way to work, what would you do? You'd be like making sure you look for every red car and you count in the red cars, so you can get however many $100 you can get. And then the question comes out, okay, but how many green cars were out there? You didn't see no green cars that you remember because you weren't paying attention to it, because all you were focused on were the red cars. That's how it is when you start to have that low morale and you fall into that depression. You only see the negative instead of you miss all the positive that's all around you that's passing you by.
Yeah.
And you keep a cycle of that. And it's a vicious cycle too.
Yep.
It's a very depressing and low morale cycle.
Very true. God, let's go to Job chapter 9 and verse 27. Job 9 and 27.
Job chapter 9, verse 27. If I say, I will forget my complaints, I will leave off my heaviness and comfort myself. I am afraid of all my sorrows.
I'm sorry. Verse 27 again. One more time.
If I say, I will forget my complaints.
So, just off of what Shadak was just saying about, just us getting caught up and consumed with just the negative that's going on, right? There's times when you're in the truth and there is a lot going on. There's times when you're with your spouse, when you're with your brother, when you're with your sister, and there is a lot going on. And there is a lot of things that you're dealing with. And you may put in your mind like, listen, I ain't even gonna complain. I'm gonna take all this out my mind. Right? I'm gonna leave off my heaviness. I'm gonna comfort myself like the scripture says, right? Check this out, read verse 28.
I am afraid of all my sorrows.
You know, you could still be afraid of all the things that's to come. Why? Because the Most High, He don't stop bringing it. He don't lay off that rod. And every day is something. Every day is something new. Every day is something new in your house. Every day is a new mess up. Every day is a new screw up. You see what I'm saying? Where it just gets beaten in. Go ahead.
I know that thou wilt not hold me innocent.
The Most High, listen, the Most High, He keeps checking. Go ahead. Nothing slides. Go ahead.
If I be wicked.
And this becomes the thought at times. It's so much correction. It's so much chastisement. It's just so much happening where it's like, man, if I'm wicked, go ahead.
Why then labor I in vain?
What's the point in even trying? What's the point in even trying if everything like everything is just gonna be negative, right? Everything that happens in my life is just gonna be a trial, a battle, a fight, a mess up. It's like, man, why do I even fight? Every reward I get is as if I'm a wicked person. But I'm trying to be a righteous person. I'm trying. I may not be the best. I may not be, I know I'm not the best. I know I got a lot to work on. But man, like, the way I get treated sometimes, it's like I'm just a wicked individual. Mm-hmm. It's like the Most High just rewards me a lot of evil, even though I'm trying my best to do good. It's like a lot of evil that just comes my way. Don't forget though, Jacob said one thing. Jacob said, few and evil have my days been.
That's what I was thinking.
The days be evil. And a lot of the times, brothers and sisters, a lot of the times those evil comes from your husband. It comes from your wife. It comes from a brother. It comes from a sister. It comes from those that's above you at times. You see what I'm saying? And you'll feel like, damn, sometimes you'll feel like you laboring in vain because ain't nothing you do right. You can't please your husband in any way. That man get mad at you over everything. You trying. Can't please your wife in any way. It don't matter how much good you do. She don't see it. She only sees your flaws. And listen, it's times like that too, when it comes in the truth, in the body, where it's like all the good that you done, it don't matter. A person only sees your flaws. A brother will only see your flaw. A sister will only see your flaw. You just a mess up. You just a screw up. So there's times where it's like, man, what's the point in even laboring? What's the point in even working? But then that goes into, who are you laboring for? Who are you working for? A man or the Most High?
Whose approval?
Whose approval? A sister or the Most High? Your husband or the Most High?
Yeah, just on that point, we all deal with that. Because no matter what you do good, like he's saying, man can't see everything,
Yeah.
right? Man's eyes are not 10,000 times brighter than the sun. We could barely discern. Like it says, through much labor, can we hardly guess it right?
Yeah.
On the things that are on earth. So this is where your faith gotta be built up. Because only you know what you do.
Yep.
Right?
Okay.
Like only you know, you and the Most High know how, like, what your heart is. Sound Christian. God knows my heart, but it's true.
Yeah.
God does know your heart, and man can only know or extrapolate certain things. Like you can only get so much from a man unless he tells you the complete truth, right? But we put together what? Action, words, but then sometimes we let coincidences and situations guide our eyesight also. It's true,
Okay.
right? Because we're not perfect. We're not perfect judges. We're not perfect eyesight. We're just not, right? So, we all got to realize that, yeah, even in doing your best, you can have your mind set on conquering the world, and it may not look like that to others. But doesn't mean you stop. That's the real question. Like, doesn't mean you stop trying to move in that right mind, even though it may not appear all the time.
Yeah.
That's the point where that's where you gotta give, like when they say Jesus take the wheel or give it to the Lord or whatever sayings they say, that's when you really gotta do that. And say, you know what? I'm not gonna defend myself, justify myself. I'm gonna just continue. Take the counsel, take the wisdom, take the advice, apply the scriptures, right? And continue to try to do the good that I'm setting out to do,
Yeah.
right? So,
All right. Great point as well. Go ahead.
Verse 30.
Yep.
If I wash myself with snow water
Uh-huh.
and make my hands never so clean,
So you washing your hands, man, you cleaning yourself up, right? Go ahead.
yet shalt thou plunge me in the ditch,
Uh-huh.
and mine own clothes shall abhor me.
That's how it be sometimes with the Most High. Like, you think you cleaning yourself up, and then the Most High, like, nope, but you suck here. You done cleaned yourself up, but He gonna show you somewhere else where you suck at. Sisters, don't your husbands do that too? Or it's like, man, yeah, I got better at this, but then he'll point out something else that you suck at, that you're dirty at. Same thing happens with brothers, same thing happens with sisters, right? I'll throw the kids in there too. Same thing happens with the kids. Go ahead.
For he is not a man as I am,
Go ahead.
that I should answer him.
So obviously this is talking about the Most High, but I'm trying to tie it into our everyday lives too, and our everyday relationships that we go through on a day-to-day basis. So right here, Job, he's talking about the way the Most High is doing him, right? The way the Most High is dealing with him. So Job is saying, man, the Most High he isn't a man that I could just go and talk. He isn't a man where I could like bring somebody to judge what's going on between us. Go ahead.
And we should come together in judgment.
Go ahead.
Neither is there any days, men betwixt us.
So neither is there any daysman betwixt us. That just means there's no mediator. That daysman is just a mediator. So there isn't like a mediator that Job could go to help to get his message across to the Most High. That's pretty much what he's saying. There isn't like this man in the middle. Because you know how sometimes when you're dealing with a person and there's a problem or there's an issue, you can have a mediator that helps to iron out the issue.
Right, hear both sides.
You have a daysman that can help to hear y'all out. There was none of that for him. Go ahead.
That may lay his hand upon us both.
Go ahead.
Let him take his rod away from me, and let not his fear terrify me.
Go ahead.
Then will I speak and not fear him.
Go ahead.
But it is not so with me.
And this is the reality. I'm not saying any of us is going through what Job is going through. We may be going through little similarities here and there, but we're not going through like the full thing of what Job is going through. But it still relates to us. Why? Because we're still going to go through a lot of things when it comes to serving the Most High and striving to keep your integrity and a pure mind and a pure outlook towards the Most High. So Job 13 and verse 23.
Job chapter 13, verse 23.
We're going to read down. We're reading down a lot, but we're good. That's how this is going to go. Go ahead.
How many are mine iniquities and sins?
Uh-huh.
Make me to know my transgression and my sin.
Go ahead.
Wherefore hiddest thou thy face, and holdest me for thine enemies?
And this is how it can feel sometimes. Like the Most High's face is hidden, and we're in this place of being an enemy instead of somebody that's fighting and striving to get the Most High's attention. Likewise, there's times when you're gonna be in a position where it's like you're in this place of an enemy towards your wife, towards your husband, towards a brother, towards a sister, just based off of the way that you may be treated, just based off of the way things may come. Go ahead.
Wilt thou break a leaf driven to and fro?
So in regards to the class of having low morale, there's gonna be times when ain't nothing going your way. Everything, and it's not like you're not trying, everything that could go wrong goes wrong, and you're like a broken leaf. When a leaf is broken off the tree, and that sucker's just, what happens to that leaf? Eventually it falls on the ground, and then what happens?
It's carried with the wind.
No, it gets carried with the wind, but that leaf is done. It's disconnected from the tree. It's dead. It's gonna die. So that's what he's saying. Will thou break a leaf driven to and fro? That leaf is already like broken off and is driven to and fro by the wind. It's gonna die. But it's like this leaf is already gonna like die, and you're just gonna take it and rip it and just make it worse. It's already about to die. It's already disconnected from the source. So sometimes in our life, it's like, man, we already like, everything is just screwed up. And things may become worse by a brother, by a sister, by your husband, by your wife, and you're thinking that, man, you're here to make things better. But instead, you literally just make things worse. Read.
And wilt thou pursue the dry stubble?
Just like a dry stubble. What's the point of even tracing the dry stubble? It's done. Read on.
For thou riddest bitter things against me,
Uh-huh.
and makest me to possess the iniquities of my youth.
See how it says you're going to possess the iniquities of your youth? All these things that you did in your past, or that was back then, it's now being brought forward today. Or it's still being held against you. Like how a wife will hold everything against against her husband. That was done years ago, but it's still being held. You still get judged. That man still gets judged off of whatever he did back then, even though he don't do it no more today. That happens too, even now. When you're a brother, when you're a sister, the things that you may, the way that you may have been back then, still may get judged off of that, because that's how you were back then. It says you get to possess the iniquities of your youth. Go ahead.
And thou puttest my feet also in the stocks,
Uh-huh.
and lookest narrowly unto all my paths.
Go ahead.
Thou settest a print upon the hills of my feet.
Stop there. Let's go to Job 6 and verse 14. The book of Job, chapter 6, verse 14. Man, you got there quick.
Oh, flips over.
Oh, it is, huh? Job 6:14. Go ahead.
Job chapter 6, verse 14.
Uh-huh.
To him that is afflicted, pity should be shewed from his friend.
So this is another segment that I wanted to hit in this class where a lot of the times you're gonna see that a brother is there for you, a sister is there for you, a husband, a wife, they're there for you, right? But a lot of the times, the truth is they're actually not gonna be there for you. And they're not gonna be there for you because they're not gonna understand what it is that you're dealing with. There's some things that you gotta go through on your own. There's some battles, there's some situations that's gonna be between you and the Most High. They may be, listen, the way they may even come across is like, you don't get it. You're not getting what I'm dealing with. You're not getting what I'm going through.
Huh.
And you're gonna have to understand that you're gonna have to see that you're gonna have to put the Most High first and go through that on your own. Y'all see what I'm saying? And if you don't, I'll show you. Job 6 and 14.
Job chapter 6, verse 14.
Go ahead.
To whom that is afflicted,
To him that is afflicted, go ahead.
pity shall be shewed from his friend.
So there's times when you're gonna be going through what you're going through, and you're gonna expect pity. You're gonna expect some type of compassion, some type of understanding, and it's just not gonna happen. You're gonna expect the pity to be showed, the compassion, the don't worry, bro, you can get through it. That's not what's gonna be shown. You're gonna have to go through that sucker yourself. Go ahead.
But he forsaken the fear of the Almighty.
Jump to 15.
Verse 15. My brethren have dwelt deceitfully as a brook, and as a stream of brooks they pass away.
Time. There's times where you just gonna feel like, man, like I'm being dealt a certain type of way. Like, y'all don't see what I'm dealing with? Y'all don't see what I'm going through? Husband, you don't see what I'm dealing with? You're not gonna put yourself in my shoes, husband? Wife, you're not gonna put yourself in my shoes and see what I'm dealing with on a day-to-day? You're not gonna see all the things I gotta do on a day-to-day basis and understand what I'm dealing with, and understand my life? And see that it's not easy for me too, just like it ain't easy for you. Job 16 and 4.
Come. Job chapter 16, verse 4. I also could speak as he do.
And you know, all this goes into, you know, having a low morale in a relationship, a low morale in the truth, a low morale between brothers, a low morale between sisters, a low morale between you and the Most High. When things ain't going right, think about it. Things weren't going right for Job, and there was literally no comfort. Literally no comfort. Anywhere. None. But he had to man up and go through what he had to go through. And everywhere he was looking for comfort, there was just none. Looking for comfort from the family, there was none. From his close friends, there was none. So Job 16 and 4. Again, go ahead.
Job chapter 16, verse 4. I also could speak as he do. If your soul were in my soul stead.
So this is Job, like he's telling his friends that were talking to him, that were counseling him. He was like, look, if I were in your shoes, if you was going through, the Most High put his hand on you, and if you were going through what I'm going through, and I was the one that had to come and counsel you and had to come and help you, that's pretty much what Job was saying. If our roles were switched, go ahead.
I could heap up words against you.
I can heap up words against you too. Go ahead.
And shake my head at you.
Yeah, I can heap up words against you. I can shake my head at you. I can make you feel like you ain't nothing. I can break you down. I can pile on you. I can say everything negative about you. I can literally beat you down with my words. Where the only time you ever hear from me is whenever. Think about it. There's times in relationships where the only time the partner ever hears anything from the ex is if it's something negative. Not the ex, but from the other spouse is if it's something negative.
Yeah.
Like, you don't never got nothing good to say about me, huh? Like, everything is always something negative. You always just beating me down. Like, we literally never talk. The only time I hear your voice is if you got something negative to say. What about all the good that I've done on a day-to-day basis? What about all the good? What about, like, you see me? But any time you open your mouth at me, it's something negative. It's something bad. Am I really that bad of a husband? Am I really that bad of a wife? Am I really that bad of a brother? Am I really that bad of a sister? Where I'm just heaping up words against you? Everything is a shake my head at you moment? This is what Job is saying. Go ahead.
But I will strengthen you with my mouth.
But instead, that's why the scripture says if we bite and devour one another, you don't want to do that. But Job is saying instead, I will strengthen you with my mouth. Go ahead.
And the moving of my lips should assuage your grief.
Your grief. Assuage meaning take away. The moving of my lips should take away your grief. But the point I'm trying to make is there's going to be times when you're in a griefful situation where things suck, and the person that's here working with you, the person that's here right here working with you that should understand what's going on, they're not going to be assuaging your grief. If anything, they may be adding on to your grief. They may be adding on to the suffering. Verse 6.
Verse 6. Though I speak, my grief is not assuaged. And though I forbear, what am I eased?
Yeah, you should be looking to get eased. But there's no ease. Go ahead.
But now he has made me weary. Thou hast made me desolate, all my company.
God, so even like the company that's around me, man, it's just ain't nothing going right. And even the people that surround me ain't helping. Verse 8.
Verse 8. And thou hast filled me with wrinkles, which is a witness against me. And my leanness rising up in me beareth witness to my face.
Y'all want to know what's funny? It says, and thou hast, it's not funny, but it says, and thou hast filled me with wrinkles. Why? Because all the stress.
Stressing out.
All that stress, man, it just makes you, just turns you old. It just disfigures you.
Wrinkles, the grays.
Yeah. All the stress, it literally changes your appearance. It literally changes your body. And if we roll like this, if we roll like this in the body, this is what'll happen. Your face, you don't look young no more. You'll just look old and beat down. Now I want y'all to think: is this like we're all going through this, right? At certain time periods, we will all go through this. But is this what you want to do to a person? Like instead of being a friend, instead of being a brother, or instead of being a sister and somebody that can help to remove the grief, or to understand that we all going through the grief, are you gonna add on to it and help to bring on the old age and help to bring on the problems, make the problems worse? Let's go to Job 19:19, last one on the Job.
Yeah, it's like all that, what his friends were going through, bringing on him. It's like they were adding insult to injury. It's like you're already down, and then you get beat down more. It's like the whole class is on morale, right? So there's already this low morale, but then you're constantly getting poked at about the things that you are already insecure about.
Yeah.
And instead of being strengthened or exhorted to come out of this, because you know one person that y'all know who he is. He's been dropping all kind of psalms on the Sabbath, because we've been in psalms on the Sabbath. David, Asaph, they talk about all these different low moments, all these moments, and it's heartbreaking. You can hear it in the Psalms. They're down. Their morale is not on point. But there's always a turnaround. There's always a switch that starts to turn it around. But when you got people like this, like you got the people around you that want to constantly beat on you too, instead of be that friend to help be that switch to help turn things around. Okay, I get it. I get it when it comes to I have flaws. We have flaws. We're not perfect. We could be better in certain areas.
Yeah.
But then there's also timing. There's also a time and place to help someone build on their imperfections or help someone get past these weaknesses. But when they're already beat the hell down, that ain't the time. It's like, oh, you beat the hell down. Let me even more.
God.
Let me just slap you upside the head with the Bible more. Yeah, because this is the perfect time. You got a broken and contract spirit right now, sis. About to go in. Like, or I'm about to go in. Because you finally see the Most High broke you down, you humbled now.
Yeah.
Look, you know why the Most High did this? And bring up all the old stuff, all the past stuff, it's like, bro, I'm not even like that no more. Like, that's so like 8 years ago me. That's not current me, but I am going through a moment of, I am weak. Everybody feels the weakness from time to time.
Yeah.
Are you so Superman, super Hebrew that you can't even empathize or sympathize with what I'm going through? And it be like that. Like they speak as though you get talking to, you'll be dealt with as though the person that's talking to you has never felt what you're feeling. But we know that's not true because the scriptures say, there's no temptation that's uncommon to man.
Yeah.
Right? So there's everything that everybody's going through, somebody has been through a form of it, some shape or form of it in their life. It's not uncommon.
Yeah.
But the scripture also says, in the day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction. That's why he's saying, when you're going through those moments, you're going to have to go through it by yourself. You're going to have to just try to deal with it and pray to the Most High and work these feelings out, metabolize what's going on in the spirit and get through it. Because they're not going to remember how they felt when they were in your shoes. And then guess what? Guess what you get to do? What you get to do is the Most High sends things in waves and seasons. That's how he works, right? Things come in seasons. So when it's their season, you get to remember how you were in the season and say, dang, you know what? I'm not going to do to them the way they did to me. I'm not going to beat him the hell down because he's going through it now. Because a wicked person, a vengeful person, a spiteful man or woman can do that.
Yeah.
The one that's holding this resentment in their heart, keeping it tucked away, like, ooh, I'm just waiting for the day to pull this card out. It's like that Uno reverse card that you just keep in the deck, keep in your hands, like, I can't wait. If I can drop this.
Try me.
Draw 4. Gotcha. You ready. But that's how they'll hold those moments in their heart. They'll hold those moments in the heart, waiting to drop this card on you.
Yeah.
But what you can do is not be that. When it's their turn, say, hey, you know what? I remember what it's like to go through things like this. I remember what it's like to be low. What's the scripture? It says, bears be in the house of the morning than
Ecclesiastes.
in the house of joy.
Don't I always say that though? Not that, but don't I always say,
You do.
what's my one saying? I know I've been preaching it to my rib. I'm always like, hey, no matter how a person deals with you for a situation, it kind of don't matter. Just make sure that when they're in that situation, you don't deal with them that way. Like I always be on brothers about that.
Yeah.
I always be on my rib about that because a lot of the times, like if you could recognize, if you could be in a situation and you could feel a certain way about how you're being dealt, right? Then it's up to you to not propagate that spirit going forward, right? So I always remind my rib like, don't become that thing that hurt you or that you hate. You being talked to, dealt with, whatever. It's like, because everybody, that's the one thing I think we all forget is that and he said it, and I'm just gonna repeat it, there's no temptation. Like, we all gonna go through the same situations, just at different times,
Yeah.
right? It'd be the same situations, just at different times. And it's up to you to remember how you were dealt with at your low point or whatever situation you were going through. Remember how it felt. That way you're not doing like what he said with the draw four and the Uno card. You're not going railing for railing, tit for tat. You're not becoming that thing, because that's not how we should be dealing.
Yeah.
You know, it's a maturity thing. It just is. It's a in the moment thing also. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. Y'all gotta make sure she don't walk out of camera.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 2. It is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting. For that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart.
Now, I'll let him go ahead and bring that one out, because I quoted it for one. And for two, the reason why I quoted it is it says the living, the house of mourning versus the house of feasting, because the living will lay it to heart. So if you're being that lively stone, that lively person that's sympathetic, empathetic, and you're gonna remember, and you're gonna stay in this remembrance of what I've been through, and let me not put someone else through the same thing that I had to go through. You know, let me be a kind word in a person's sorrow, time of hurt, time of need. It's like someone died. Suck it up, Hot. Suck it up. You know, scripture say only more than 7 days. Like, but I'm hurt. I'm hurt. Lost my parent. Lost my best friend. You know, but man, you crying. You why you crying? Why you crying? You don't need to cry. You're only supposed to cry for 2 days. Like, they putting a limit on your grief. Yeah, scripture do say, you know, more than 7 days, right? That's book. But guess what? In a human reality, it don't always happen that, not everyone is that strong to just let it go that easily.
Yeah.
So, okay, you know what? You're still going through it, but let me help you come out of it instead of beating you down on it. Okay? Oh, you're going through a heartache because you broke up with your wife. Husband and wife broke up. Let me, you know, not beat you down and say, hey, brother, man, you got to get over that. There's plenty of fish in the sea. You got to get back in there, man. She ain't nothing.
What's the next verse?
It's like, okay, well, look, bro, you know, take some time, man. Look, start working on yourself, man. Better yourself. Get back into the book. Rededicate yourself. You know, start getting more back into building that man that you are. Because the scriptures say, you know, bring out the scriptures say, you'll be like, I'm going to make a man more precious than gold. Let me help you be that gold, brother. What you got?
Galatians chapter 6, verse 1. Brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, ye which are spiritual, restore such a one in a spirit of meekness, considering thyself, lest thou also be tempted.
And that's the same thing that we've been saying. You know, consider yourself. If there's a better way, let's try to take the better path. Let's increase or change and boost the morale, not pound morale into hell.
God. Listen, Job 19 and 19.
Yeah, and I was thinking about that Galatians. Yeah, because I went there. Right?
Oh, you want to go there?
No, we already went. We already did it.
Yeah.
We already did it.
Job 19 and 19.
Job chapter 19, verse 19.
Uh-huh.
All my inward friends abhor me, and they whom I love are turned against me.
So again, there is going to be times when this is just what it is. The scripture is telling you. This happens. Go ahead.
My bone cleaveth to my skin and to my flesh, and I am escaped with the skin of my teeth.
This is how crazy it was. This is how crazy the situation was for Job. We see, you know, when you escape by the skin of your teeth, like think about it, the skin of your teeth. He's telling you he barely made it. He barely made it through. And this is how it's gonna be. A lot of the times, man, you barely gonna make it through a situation and people around you ain't even gonna know like how detrimental your situation was. It may not be that detrimental to them, but to you it was. And even though they're right there with you, they ain't gonna even understand it. Go ahead.
Have pity upon me. Have pity upon me, O ye my friends. For the hand of God have touched me.
And guess what? When this happens, you're gonna have to deal with that. You're gonna have to deal with that when he touches you, when he comes for you.
Everybody is susceptible to that.
You're gonna have to deal with that. And guess what? You may not even be able to have a conversation with a brother. You may not even be able to have a conversation with a sister. I mean, you're gonna talk to them, but they just not gonna get it. They're not just gonna understand you. For whatever reason, the outlook may be clouded. The outlook on you may be negative. So even though you may be trying to show a brother something, he may not want to hear it. Because the outlook on you is now like something wrong with you. You off.
You weak.
So even though you may be trying to show a brother something, he don't want to hear it. You may be trying to show a sister something and the outlook is just skewed. She don't want to hear it. She don't want to see where you're coming from. It may be something new, it may be something better, a better way of doing something, don't want to hear it. You see what I'm saying? And you're going to have to understand it. You're just going to have to go through it. You're going to have to keep your integrity and go through it and not lose your mind. Not lose your focus. Not lose, because at the end of the day, who you doing it for? You're doing it for the Most High. So when you're going through your situations, it's what's going to happen. You're the husband you lay with right next to, right in the damn bed with you is not going to understand. The wife that's right next to you is not going to understand what it is. Like it says, there's times you're going to want pity from those loved ones, but they're just not even going to understand to even give you the pity that you should be getting. And that's because, listen, let's go to Matthew 26 and verse 38. Matthew chapter 26 and verse 38.
Matthew chapter 26, verse 38.
Uh-huh.
Then said he unto them, my soul is exceeding sorrowful.
His soul, Christ said what?
My soul is exceeding sorrowful.
Christ told that to who?
Then he said unto them.
Who's the them? The disciples. So Christ is literally telling the disciples, my soul is exceedingly sorrowful. Now you have Christ that's right here with you. You have a man that's as powerful as Christ walking. You'll never see him out the Spirit. You've never seen Christ out the Spirit. And he's sitting here telling you, man, my soul is exceedingly sorrowful. What do you think of, what do you think the disciples should have did? Like, your soul is sorrowful? Out of everybody, your soul is sorrowful. You would think they'll be like, okay, let me try to help. What do you need? How can I help? Read.
Even unto death.
Christ is like, listen, man, my soul is so damn sorrowful, man. It's to the point of death. Go ahead.
Tarry ye here and watch with me.
And all he asked was, listen, man, just chill and watch with me. You know why? Because sometimes a brother just wants a brother to listen. I'm going through this. I know ain't much you can do to change the situation, but listen, just be here with me.
Yeah,
Just be in the same mind with me.
It's like Job's friends. They just came and sat with him. They didn't really say much until they said much. But at the first, they just sat there.
Yeah, sometimes it's like, man, just chill. That's where I'm at. Just chill, watch me. Go ahead.
And he went a little further and fell on his face and prayed, saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt.
And this is what it's about. Like, this is your cup. This is what you gotta deal with. This is what you gotta go through. We all have our cup. And there's times where it's just gonna be on you. Go ahead.
And he cometh unto the disciples, and findeth them asleep.
And findeth them what?
Asleep.
Findeth them what?
Asleep.
A what?
Asleep.
Sleep.
You could help me with this cup, man.
Came there, Peter snored his ass off.
Yeah.
All of them snoring. He said, like, damn, man, y'all couldn't even watch with me, huh? Go ahead.
And saith unto
Let me say this though. Now think about it. Yahweh Shai is on the eve of his death.
Yeah.
He knows it. And all he's saying is, look, just pray with me. Help me to, just be with a brother. Now, when did these apostles, when was their moment when they realized, like, damn, when they were gonna be put to death and go through their situation, it didn't hit them until, and that's what I'm saying, it's like, we all gonna go through the same things, just at different times, right? My cup might be filled with water right now, and your cup might be filled with hardship, waters of affliction.
Yeah.
I might have Kool-Aid in my cup, chilling. That's right now. But give it 2 weeks, and we're gonna be changing cups. We're gonna be changing hands. And that's the point. The cup is always being passed around.
Yeah.
It never stops moving. That those waters of affliction. That what is it? What is it? Water, bread of adversity.
Water of affliction.
Water of affliction. That water of affliction, that don't stop moving through just because somebody's going through it right now. Because you could be straight good today and then be drinking that water tomorrow. Right? And what is it about? It goes back to that Galatians 6. It goes back to it's everything he's bringing out where we got to start looking at things a little bit different. Right? Yeah, having compassion. Yeah, brothers is gonna get checked, sisters is gonna get checked. That's never gonna stop.
Yeah.
But it can be a different way to do it. Right?
Yep.
Like it could be a different way on how we approach it. It could be different words used, different things said. Those are the things I be trying to work on. 'Cause I know I ain't great at them. And I gotta do it in my house. I gotta breathe. Usa, Bible, scripture, like I gotta do that, right? So that I can show myself and prove to myself that I can do it, prove to the Most High that I can do it, and that I could do it because those things that I want to do to people, I want to be able to get from people, right? Doing to others as you'd have others doing to you. So it's all these things that we're trying to practice, right? That we just got to do them. We got to really, really sit down in these scriptures and meditate in these scriptures and just be better responders.
Yeah.
And that was kind of going to be my class today, right? And I'm going to still go over it. But you're responding to things.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, that cup is always going to go around. But go ahead, read on.
Gone, verse 42.
verse 42.
Mm-hmm. Did you finish 40?
No.
Oh, finish 40?
And he cometh unto his disciples,
Uh-huh.
and findeth them asleep,
Mm-hmm.
and saith unto Peter, what? Could ye not watch with me 1 hour?
Kind. Hey, you couldn't give me an hour? You couldn't be there for me for an hour? Yeah, I'm about to die. What the hell, man? You sleep? What the hell? 1 hour, 42.
42.
Uh-huh.
He went away again the second time and prayed, saying, O my Father, if this cup may not pass away from me, except I drink it, thy will be done.
Mm-hmm.
And he came and found them asleep again,
Go ahead.
for their eyes were heavy.
You see that? And This is why it's your cup. Their eyes is heavy. They tired. They dealing with things too.
But I bet you if death was on them, they would have been wide the hell awake.
Yes, they would have.
Right.
You're absolutely right. They would have.
They would have been like, Christ, what do we do? Christ, pray for me.
But you want to know what's crazy? You want to know what's crazy? When Christ was asleep and they came and they woke him up, he was there in the ship.
Said he rebuked the waves, right?
Where was they at?
That's the point. It's like it's like nobody's gonna take, and this is where you gotta stop looking at man. No one's gonna take how you feel to the extreme of how you feel,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. Meaning, I can't feel unless I've been through what he's been through, or unless I'm in his situation. I can't exactly feel exactly how he feels about something.
Yeah.
I can only try to empathize and sympathize with it, right? And even in your time where where this wasn't a feeling of death, this was death. The other men were like, it's serious to him, but we tired. We got our own things to deal with. We got our own islands to keep open.
You already told us we're gonna die too, bro.
Yeah, he told us that too, right? Because he did. But it's like, no one's gonna feel that extreme feeling that you feel about a situation or about you. So the only one, again, it goes back to the Most High. The only one that's gonna be able to really give you what it is you're looking for in a form of a comfort. Men can only do so much, is what we're seeing.
Yeah.
These brothers could only have done so much, because men have their problems too that they have to work out individually. They have their cup to drink, their burden. What if we're all burdened at the same time?
Yeah.
Right? It does say bear ye one another's burdens, but it also says every man got to bear his own burden.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So we just all drop our burdens and don't deal with nothing? That ain't gonna work. So, it's a lot of things happening. I hope y'all see it.
All right. Go ahead.
Verse 44.
Uh-huh.
And he left them and went away again.
All right, you can drop that. Let's go to Luke chapter 12 and verse 45. Luke 12 and verse 45. And this will be the last point. The last point is, what is the conclusion? So what's the conclusion in all this? Well, the conclusion is, don't look at man. Keep your eye on the prize, like Christ did, and understand. Remember when we first started the class, I said, remember Psalms 100 and verse 3? I'll read it real quick. It says, know ye that the Lord, he is God. It is he that made us, and not we ourselves. We are his people and the sheep of his pasture. So what is the conclusion? Well, that's the conclusion. So I had said to remember it. Because throughout everything that you're going through, yeah, you would hope that your friends will be there for you. You will hope that the person that's there will be there for you to help you. But there's times when they're not. Matter of fact, they're going to be the opposite of a help. And they'll beat you down and make your situation worse and make you feel worse while you're going through what they're going through. And they may not empathize with you and show you the pity or the comfort or the compassion or the understanding or the consideration that you may be looking for. And with that, when that happens, because it does happen, then you got to understand that the Most High is your creator. He's your maker. And at the end of the day, he's the one and the only one that can understand and empathize with you and understand what it is that you're actually going through and dealing with. Y'all see what I'm saying? That's the conclusion. So with that being the conclusion, read where I told you to go.
Luke chapter 12, verse 45.
Go ahead.
But, and if that servant say in his heart, my Lord delayeth his coming, and shall begin to beat the man's servants and maidens, and to drink, and to eat, and to be drunken.
Listen, and this is something that, this is a part of the conclusion. We're all brothers here. We're all sisters here. You don't want to beat nobody down. You don't want to beat your wife down. You don't want to beat another brother down. You don't want to beat another sister down. Listen, you don't want to beat your kids down. Y'all see what I'm saying? You don't want to beat somebody down with your words. Or again, the only time, like, you walk in the house and the whole damn spirit changes. Because, like, you don't never got nothing good to say. You don't, like, it's never just happy. Like, everything is just bad.
Right.
Like, I never hear from you, and the only time I hear from you, it's something negative. It's literally like just something negative, like, but I work with you. I work with you. But we don't have the only communication I get is you're a screw up. Y'all see what I'm saying? Like, that's real. You don't want to do that to your wife. You don't want to do that to your husband. Anytime they hear your mouth, it's just, you're a screw up. You're just constantly a screw up. You can't do nothing right. Like, nobody wants, like who's gonna be happy? Whose life is gonna be happy dealing with that? Constantly, on top of all the other pressures of life. Who's gonna be happy with their life? Who's gonna get up in the morning ready and willing to go and fight all the obstacles that the Most High has laid out for them if their partner ain't even a partner? Y'all see what I'm saying?
The partner is part of that fight.
Partner, like, has now become a part of the fight. But what I'm trying to show y'all is this happens. This happens. It's life, whether in the truth or out of the truth. This happens. It's a part of life. And it's a part of that cup that you gotta drink, and you gotta understand that the only thing that you can have your faith and your trust and your hope in is the Most High. But we don't want to be the person that's, man, Christ ain't coming. He's delaying it. I'm tired. Like I'm dealing with all this pressure. The world is just killing me, and I start beating the people that I'm supposed to be, because I'm tired and beat down myself. I'm now lashing out on the people that I'm above.
Start beating the maid servants and the men servants.
Why? Because Christ delayeth is coming. He ain't here yet. So as long as he ain't here yet, guess what life is gonna be? A struggle. Y'all see that? You see how it says you start to beat the men servants and the maid servants, and then it says, and to eat and to drink and to be drunken. It's like, now, like, you just party. You just, man, how can I feed my flesh? How can I make myself feel good? Now I'm drinking a lot, now I'm partying a lot, now my focus ain't no longer the focus of the scriptures like that and the Most High and even my family and even my servants. It's about how I feel and what I want. So let's go to Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 4. Well, there's a lot going on. A lot going on.
Oh, you got 2 more. You got a whole nother class.
Yeah, 20 minutes.
He missed the joke. Remember? Let me get 2 more precepts.
Yeah.
What that turned into? This dude said I got 20 more minutes. He got like 18 precepts on this paper.
Oh,
Yeah, but I'll never hit all.
So if we equivocate that to Israelite teaching time, that's about a good 4 hours.
Yes. That's a 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Read. He missed it. He don't get it.
What's the Sabbath?
Like remember you said about my class today, you looked at it and you were like, you're as far as you are,
Yeah.
I'm done with mine.
Oh.
That's it. It's not short, it's done. That's it. Yeah.
That was
we
that.
were having jokes on it. We were talking bad about Zion. Zion, let me get 2 more precepts. We all do it though. Man, let me get 1 more precept. 1 more precept is 30 minutes. Like, that's a given. But when you say you got 20 minutes, I'm like, good luck.
I mean, we need that for sure.
Let me give 2 more precepts.
2 more precepts.
Yeah, go ahead. Where you at? Go ahead.
Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath.
And you fathers do not what?
Provoke your children to wrath.
Not to wrath. Provoke not your children to wrath. Go ahead.
But bring them up in the nurture and the domination of the Lord.
An admonition of the Lord. So you see how it says, don't provoke your children to wrath? The father is what? The head of the household, right? The father is the one that's in authority. So as a person that's in authority, whether it's a husband, whether it's a father, listen, whether it's a mother that's dealing with the children, that's dealing with a child, whether it's a brother with rank, you don't want to provoke a sister that has position. You don't want to provoke the people that are under you to wrath. But it says, but bring them up in nurture and admonition. And sometimes when it comes to nurturing somebody, nurturing a child, sometimes they don't get it. When it comes to nurturing a younger brother or nurturing a younger sister, sometimes they don't get it. It takes time. But at the same time, you're trying to nurture them, but you don't want to, because they don't get it, because they don't understand, you don't want to come at them where you're beating the hell out of them. And I'm not talking about necessarily physically, but I'm talking about like you're just over the top. You're just over the top with the way that you're dealing, with the way that you're coming. And you can make that child with a constant just spiritual beatdown or mental beatdown. You can make that child where the child's like, man, listen, I'm 18 now, I'm out. I'm going. I don't want to, I'm tired. I don't want to deal with this. And not only that, but that can happen too with a husband and with the wife, where eventually that wife is like, I'm out. Or that husband's like, listen, I'm out. Because it's no longer like this nurture. It's no longer like this love. Like I'm not, like at this point, I ain't even, do you even mess with me? Do you even like me? Do you even want me around? Like I gotta be on eggshells around you. I gotta be on eggshells being in the classroom. I gotta just be on eggshells with everything because everything is gonna be a problem. Got your hand up?
Yeah, I got a precept.
What you got?
Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 14.
Go ahead.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 14. Woe unto you that have lost patience, and what will ye do when the Lord shall visit you?
Kind. And it's the thing, like, it's like what Father Zot was going over. What happens when it happens to you? What happens when the roles is reversed, and now you are in a position that you will want somebody to have patience with you. You'll want somebody to think about you and have some consideration about you and what it is that you're dealing with, because the Most High visits everybody. You know what I'm saying? But again, you know, just back on this Ephesians 6 and 4, as husbands, as fathers, as mothers, as brothers, as sisters, with those that are under us, we don't want to provoke nobody to wrath, but you do want to bring somebody up with nurture and admonition for the Lord. Now, I'm not trying to say don't correct nobody. I'm hoping that y'all don't take it that's what I'm saying. What I am saying is you don't want to be so over the top and be so inconsiderate that a person no longer wants to, that a person is turned off from you. You know what I'm saying? A person is turned off where like, man, like, this is too much. I'm out. Listen, y'all. I went to school with a lot of people. I went to school with a lot of kids whose parents was very over the top. And I'm telling y'all, as soon as they graduated, I can name at least 10. And went to college. Some of their parents didn't want them to leave and go to college out of Houston. But because of the way their parents was, they was like, I don't want to be around you. I'm out. I'll tell y'all straight up, my sister did that. And my sister wasn't getting whooped, she wasn't, none of that. But my sister wasn't trying to be provoked to wrath, I guess. She didn't want to be like the over the topness. My sister was like, listen, I'm gone. I'm not gonna be super gone where I gotta come home every day. I'm not gonna come home every day, but I'm 2 hours away. I'm going to Beaumont, Lamar. I'm not going to U of H. Y'all see what I'm saying? Why? Because of the, I'm gonna just say it, the over the topness. So when the opportunity comes, they're out. 18 comes, out. Y'all see what I'm saying? So we don't want to be the person that does this, that provokes any, not just our kids to wrath, but a brother or a sister that's in the school where eventually they're like, man, I'm out, and they could point a finger at you and say, you're the reason why I'm out. Well, they're not, the brother or the sister that they're pointing the finger at saying that you're the reason why I don't want to be a part of the truth. They were just, a lot of the times, they're the straw that broke the camel's back. But it was just so much going on with life that your over the topness, brother or sister, is, I'm out. Deuces. Happens a lot. Happens a lot. Happens with husbands, happens with wives. It happens a lot. It happens, like, don't it happen at work? Eventually somebody's like, man, what do they say? This is too much. I'm out. Happens at work. They'll be like, man, it's too much, man. Y'all niggas tripping. I'm out. They go over the intercom at work. They call out their manager. And then you know what they do? They go and get a better job and a better car, and they pull up just to flex at their old job. I had somebody that do that. But yeah, you don't want to.
Were your parents over the top?
My parents? Mm-hmm. My parents weren't over the top with me.
No, not with you.
With my sisters? Mm-hmm. In some ways, yeah. I'll say that for sure. In some ways, yeah. Absolutely.
No,
See, for me,
I was just asking.
For me, I'll say a little over the top with me, but once I became a certain age, it just didn't matter. My dad wasn't there. My dad wasn't in the vicinity to keep me contained.
No, I was asking because
Yeah.
what these generations deem over the top, we're getting back to in the form of just discipline.
Yeah.
So that's why I was asking, because we do have to remember a lot of this is about outlook and how you see things.
Yeah.
And if you're not wanting to be, like you said it. I hope nobody's thinking I'm not saying that we're not gonna correct, and I said it too, right? But there's always two parts where sometimes a person just don't wanna be corrected at all, and they look at everything as over the top. And that's why I asked, because I mean.
No, but I'm glad you brought that balance too.
We've talked, but that's what it be sometimes, like some people speak with, he's always doing this, and then you're like.
Yeah.
And then when you start breaking it down, peeling back the layers of the onion, it's not always. That's how children talk.
Yeah.
Children, like, you could take a kid to the mall today, buy him the whole mall today. Right now, we go to the mall and buy everything in the mall. And then tomorrow, they'll come and say, hey, Dad, can you buy me some V-Bucks for my PlayStation? And then you'll be like, nah. And they'll be like, you never buy me anything. Mm-hmm. But their whole closet is full of shoes, clothes, toys that they got yesterday. Mm. But if I never buy you anything, why you got something? It's situational, where children speak in this generalized way of, you never do something because you're not doing the thing that I want now. But what about yesterday? What about the day before? We never do anything. It's never good. It's never positive. But it's like, well, what about last week? What about the week? Because there's a forgetfulness of something in there's a right. Remember the scripture that says there's a
In the day of adversity.
day of adversity, there's a day of forgetfulness and prosperity, and vice versa.
Yeah.
And so in the moment, people get caught up. So that's why I was just asking, because I feel like discipline, it can be over the top if you let it. But just because you're disciplining or having a standard, or you're having rules in your house, because my kids can say I'm over the top, right? Because I have them do chores. I made him go out and move the trash can yesterday in the rain. Bro, that's over the top. Nah, nigga, that's chores. What you mean? That's a chore. I don't care. Like the garbage. If the man is gonna be out there to pick up the garbage in the rain, you got to bring that to the curb.
True.
Feel me? So if he ain't tripping, if he gonna be out there in the rain, you got to be out there in the rain to drop it off to him. Like, but so I'm just saying that because remember, outlook and mind state goes into this also, where pure mind, pure thought has to be there too, or else you'll say everything's negative, you never do this, it's always this, and we know that's insane. Nothing is always one thing. Most High always finds a way to appease, Most High always finds a way to give us breaks from certain things.
He does.
And you got to be able to see it.
You take advantage.
And take advantage of it, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
You got, yeah. No, I'm glad you said that. Great balance. Very good balance. Let's go to Jeremiah 23 and verse 1. I got 7 minutes. We're gonna run through these. Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 1.
Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 1.
Answer this question too.
Proverbs 17. Oh yeah, you got to do that. Man.
I ain't take one.
Okay. I'll stop it right at
I only got 2 precepts.
Go ahead.
Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith the Lord.
Go ahead.
Therefore thus saith the Lord God of Israel, against the pastors that feed my people.
Fine. So, brothers and sisters, that got a family, that got brothers under you, that got sisters that's looking up at you. And even when you come into that position where you are considered a pastor, you don't want to destroy nobody. You don't want to scatter nobody. But you want to feed the people. You want to help the people. Go ahead.
You have scattered my flock
Uh-huh.
and driven them away,
Uh-huh.
and have not visited them.
Go ahead.
Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doings, saith the Lord.
Because at the end of the day, we get judged for it. Y'all see what I'm saying? Most High will always bring it back on us at the end of the day. So Proverbs 17, verse 22.
Proverbs chapter 17 and verse 22.
So just remember, man, the whole point of this class is like having low morale. Like brothers and sisters is gonna go through periods of having low morale and go through periods where you're gonna have to go through what you gotta go through. And the people that's around you that you would expect to understand what it is that you're going through, what it is that you're dealing with, they're just not a lot of the times. You're gonna have to accept that. And you're gonna have to just put your faith and your trust in the Most High and push through. And that's gonna be the only person you can depend on, because sometimes a brother or a sister or a husband or a wife, you're just not gonna be able to depend on them in certain situations. That's just what it is. You're gonna have to go through it on your own, which is how the Most High got it. But at the same time, we don't want to be the person that's adding on to what somebody's going through and making it worse. Y'all see what I'm saying? Because of this. Proverbs 17:22. Go ahead.
A merry heart doeth good like a medicine.
A merry heart doeth what?
Doeth good like a medicine.
Go ahead.
But a broken spirit drieth the bone.
And this is what you don't want. You don't want to break a person down so much. They're already dealing with the world as it is. Husband and wives, children dealing with stuff. As a parent, you don't want to break them down and drying up their bones and they're just kids. Y'all see what I'm saying? And as brothers, we don't want to break brothers down and break them down to the point where they're dry, where we didn't dry their bones where they don't even want to be around us. They don't even want to talk to us. They don't want to deal with us. They don't want to work with us. You see what I'm saying? Same thing with sisters. It's not what you want. Psalms 31 and verse 24.
Psalms 31.
Yeah, Psalms, the book of Psalms 31 and 24. Nah, scratch that. Job 21 and verse 4. And then Mark 9 and 49.
Damn, Mark is ugh.
Go ahead.
Job chapter 21, verse 4. As for me, is my complaint to man.
Because at the end of the day, your complaint is not going to be about man. Y'all see what I'm saying? And this is for the person that's going through what it is that they're going through and going through the low morale. Like, your complaint is not to the to man. It's to the Most High. At the end of the day, that's who you should bring your complaint to. At the end of the day, the Most High is the one that's allowing it. And the Most High is the one that's going to help to get you through it. Go ahead.
And if it were so, why should not my spirit be troubled?
Mark 9 and verse 49.
Mark chapter 9, verse 49.
And then Romans chapter 8 and verse 28. No, Mark 9, 50. Job sits and then Romans 8, 28, and then we're done. Yeah.
Mark chapter 9, verse 50.
Go ahead.
Salt is good.
And remember, we're considered salt. We're the flavor of the earth, right? So salt is good. Go ahead.
But if the salt have lost his saltness.
You didn't read that?
Oh, wait.
Read verse 49.
Verse 49. I'm looking at 50. For everyone, go ahead, yeah.
For everyone shall be salted with fire.
Everyone shall be what?
Salted with fire.
And this mark is dope because it's showing you how you gain your salt. It's showing you how you gain your favor, your flavor. You gain your flavor. You gain your salt, your salsa, your salsa, your spice. You gain all that by the stuff that you go through, by the fire that you go through. Go ahead.
And every sacrifice shall be salted with salt.
And guess what? You're a living sacrifice. So just like back then, you couldn't just bring some bland ass meat to the priest. You better season that meat.
Yep.
You better season that before you bring that bland meat to the Most High. Season it.
Yep. Leviticus 2:13.
Season it.
Every oblation gotta have salt.
But season it. Some salt on that meat. Some paprika. Some garlic. Put something on there. Black pepper. Put something.
Say salt. That's what brothers be clowning when you only got salt and pepper in your cabinet.
I'm not doing that.
I don't only have salt and
got
pepper.
that onion powder, got that garlic powder,
Cash was capped from you. I'm like,
That-
but the Most High said
that
use salt.
allspice chicken, that paprika,
Certain brother was
slap your
Slap your
mama.
mama.
certain brother, prepping my cabinets unawares.
Oh yeah.
I'm talking about how all you got is salt and pepper.
I definitely grabbed into his cabinets.
The Most High said this. Make sure I got salt.
At least let it be some Himalayan salt.
It was.
Himalayan salt,
It definitely
black
wasn't that
pepper,
time.
cayenne pepper. Keep going.
I'm chastising you because you ain't got no paprika. It don't say paprika though. It just say salt.
I'm just saying, you gotta season the meat before you eat it. And guess what? It's the same thing. Every sacrifice shall be salted with salt. So it was a must that Christ had to go through some stuff before he offered himself up as a sacrifice. Y'all see what I'm saying? For our sins. And it's a must that we go through a lot of different things so that we can earn our salt. So that, because ain't that what we doing? We offering ourselves as a living sacrifice. So it's a must that we go through a lot of these different things and overcome them so that we can gain our salt. So that we could be a savor unto the Most High. A sweet savor unto the Most High. Verse 50.
Verse 50.
Mm-hmm.
Salt is good,
Mm-hmm.
but if the salt have lost its saltness,
Mm-hmm.
wherewith we season it.
Yeah, man. But if you lose that, what's the point? Go ahead.
Have salt in yourselves,
Mm-hmm.
and have peace one with another.
Kind of have peace one with another. Job sits and sits.
Job chapter 6, verse 6. Can that which is unsavory be eaten without
Cause
salt?
the Most High ain't trying to, bro. The Most High don't. If you don't got no salt, The hell? Listen, man, I remember one time I tried to cook some rice and peas and I forgot to put salt. Trash. Terrible. You ever cook chicken and forgot to season it?
Oh, wow.
Nah, ain't nobody ever did that. Exactly. Ain't nobody. But I bet y'all made eggs and probably forgot to put some salt on it.
No. Never. I season my pot.
Oh, bro,
You
y'all
gotta
ain't
season
like that.
before you even.
Ain't no man perfect, bro.
I season my pot.
Perfect.
I put oil, listen, oil, salt, pepper in the pot before that thing even turn on.
Ain't no man
Before an egg
perfect.
even drops in there. So when the egg falls into the oil, it's salted and.
Sorry, you ready to go?
oil. Yeah, bro. You got that. Cause how's the pepper gonna get to the other side of the egg? It's already cooked. Cook that in there.
You know, I thought about doing that, but then I tried it one time.
You burned it.
No. I didn't burn it, but I was just like, man, this ain't it. I like putting it on top.
All right, come on. Yeah.
Back. I still sprinkle some on top.
Oh, okay.
On top one. Yeah, I still sprinkle on top.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what you do, like seasoning one side of the egg?
Nah.
Bro, you moving around, it's crazy.
We got Romans 8:28. Let's knock it out. Go ahead.
Romans chapter 8, verse 28.
Uh-huh.
And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God.
So listen, at the end of the day, you know, you gotta keep your mind, for those that's going through what they're going through, you gotta keep your mind in the place of all things work together for your good if you really and truly love the Most High. That's all gonna work out. Go ahead.
To them who are the called according to his purpose.
Everything will work out for you. Go ahead. Jump to verse 35.
Verse 35.
Uh-huh.
Who shall separate us from the love of Christ?
Mm-hmm.
Shall temptation,
Tribulation.
tribulation,
And this is where it's at. You gotta ask yourself, this cup that you gotta drink, this walk that you gotta walk. Remember back in Esdras, when you read, it says that you have this inheritance that's on the other side. You gotta go through the bridge, fire on one side, water on the other, only one can go by. That means that you gotta go through this on your own. You're gonna have to deal with this on your own. So what's gonna separate you? What's gonna get you to turn back? And it goes through a whole list. Go ahead.
distress,
So is it gonna be tribulation, distress? Go ahead.
or
Persecution?
persecution,
Uh-huh.
or famine,
Go ahead.
or nakedness,
Uh-huh.
or
Peril?
peril, or sword.
Like what is it that's gonna be that's gonna make you turn your back? And on top of all these things, you know, you may have to deal with the person that should be helping you through it, not helping you through it. So we was gonna read the verse 37, but I'll end it there. Oh, no, we weren't. Yeah, we'll just end it there.
You can always read down verse 30.
Yeah, read down to verse 39 whenever you get a chance. So with that's it for the class. You wanna answer this question?
Yeah, real quick. The brother asked a question in the chat. What does it say? It says, it says, God hates debate. God hates debate, so I have two scriptures, Israelites talking about debating. Right? So go to Proverbs real quick. So, no, God doesn't hate when we talk about the Bible, right? But he hates a certain type of debate, when it turns into strife and contention. But us going back and forth about the Bible, or about what it says, God don't hate that, right? And I can show that God don't hate that. Go to Proverbs 25 and verse, he said verse 8, so let's start there real quick.
Proverbs chapter 25 and verse 8.
Let's just understand what these two scriptures say. Read it.
Go not forth hastily to strife.
So what?
To strife.
Okay. So we know we shouldn't be doing that. We shouldn't be going out to strive with one another. Go ahead.
Lest thou know not what to do in the end thereof.
Right, because of that contention, right? That striving. Read the next verse.
Debate thy cause with thy neighbor himself.
Wait, what?
Debate thy cause with thy neighbor himself.
The beautiful thing is, so the Bible is telling you to do one thing but not do the other, right? Do we see that? It's saying not to go out and be hasty, but it is saying to debate thy cause with your neighbor. The word strive here and the word debate here are the same word in Hebrew. So there's a context to the word debate. There's a context to the word, right? Or the Hebrew word that was chosen. Where is it at? It's where we at? Proverbs
25 and 8.
Yeah,
Or 9.
there's a context to the word that was chosen here because it has more than one context, right? So in one situation, it can mean to strive in a negative sense, and in another sense, it may mean to debate, like in a legal sense, because when you go to court or if you sit in front of a matter with a judge, you are debating your cause, right? If you have a problem with your brother, right? In a sense, you are debating because you're letting him know, hey, this is what's going on with me concerning you. Hey, oh, well, this is what's going on with me concerning you. And then you guys go back and forth to get to a resolve, right? So the Most High does not hate debate. It's in the context in which people debate that he doesn't like, right? So do we understand that one? Do we understand that? I mean, I'll show y'all real quick that it's the same word. You know how I get down with these little words, right? The word to, what is it? Strive, right? What is this? Rayab? Rayab, to strive. It's G7378, right? When you go to verse 9, debate, it's the same exact word. To strive, to contend, to dispute, to quarrel, to plead, to toss, to grapple, to wrangle, to controversy, to defend. Is it wrong to defend yourself?
No.
Right. See that? So you got to put the word into context. Go to Isaiah. He quoted another one in Isaiah. Isaiah 41 and verse 21. Read that.
Isaiah chapter 41, verse 21.
Go ahead.
Produce your cause,
Right.
saith the Most High.
Come on.
Bring forth your strong reasons,
Right.
saith the King of Jacob.
Right. So without me going through this whole chapter, if you understand, and this is why we just got to read the chapter and not just pull out one verse, because this verse, what the Most High is literally saying, he's mocking the people for their idols. He's saying, bring your idols forth and see if they can help you. That's what that's saying. So that wouldn't be a good verse to show that the Most High hates debate, because he don't debate with other gods, right? Now, let's jump over to Acts. And y'all can read that chapter on your own, but that's what that's talking about. When you read from 41 down, he's literally going at the idols that the people have set up, and he's saying, bring them forth and let them plead for you, and let them defend you, is what he's saying. Let's slide over to the New Testament real quick. Let's go to Acts, and let's see. Because when you look at it, Paul was a debater. That's just what he did. He went from city to city, and he wasn't just teaching seminars and nobody was saying anything back. That's the whole point. When we go on the street corners, and if you have an engagement with somebody and you're going back and forth, it is a debate. Right? Now, there's a way to debate. There's a way that it can be done. There's still we got to maintain, being cordial, having decorum. But you can debate, right? And we can talk as friends and debate. Debate is not a negative word. I'm going to show you where debate is negative. Well, we just saw one in Proverbs where it says, strive not to be hasty. That's in a negative sense, right? Go to Acts. What I want. Go to Acts 6 real quick. 9. Read it.
Acts chapter 6, verse 9.
Somebody else get Acts 9:29. Read.
Acts chapter 6, verse 9.
Come on,
Then there arose certain of the synagogue,
right?
which is called the synagogue of the Libertines,
Go ahead.
and Cyrenians, and the Alexandrians,
Now this was Stephen. He pulls up into this synagogue. Go ahead.
and of the Cilicia,
Right.
and of Asia,
Uh-huh.
disputing
They what?
with Stephen.
They did what?
Disputing with Stephen.
So they disputed with Stephen. And you're like, oh, well, they disputed with him. He didn't dispute back. Well, read on.
And they were not able to resist the wisdom and the spirit, but
So he was disputing back with them. His wisdom was greater. This is why they end up stoning Stephen. Because all he did was just drop Israelite history on them, and they couldn't even deal with it. Go ahead.
by which he spake.
Right. So that word there, to dispute, again, it's even if you go into the Greek, watch this. What is that? Acts? Because there's more than
verse 9.
Acts 6, right?
Yes, sir.
There's more than one word for the word dispute or debate in the Greek. And we got to know the context of what the scriptures is speaking. That's why it's important that brothers got to read, and we don't want to just make statements that the Most High hates something when he doesn't. Because nowhere does it say that the Most High hates if we dispute the word, right? He just told us, dispute thy cause with thy brother. So he doesn't hate dispute, he hates strife, right? He doesn't like when we strive. Stephen, what was that? What was that? 9. 6 and 9, right? I'm trying to make this quick. Disputing, right? Susitio, G4802, to dispute, to debate, to question. I seek together, discuss or dispute. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Nothing. There's nothing wrong with that. Slide over to Acts 9:29. Same word. Watch this.
Acts chapter 9 and verse 29.
Uh-huh.
And he spake boldly.
He did what?
He spake boldly
Come on.
in the name of the Lord Yahushua,
Right.
and disputed.
And did what?
Disputed
Now this is Paul. And he disputed, go ahead.
against the Grecians.
Yeah, against them. So he was debating against them. Paul did that, right? Let's jump over to Acts 17:17. Same word for disputed, right? Acts 17:17.
Acts chapter 17, verse 17.
Come on.
Therefore disputed he,
Therefore he what?
disputed he
To debate. Go ahead.
in the synagogue
Uh-huh.
with the Jews.
See that? This is Paul. After he left, I believe Aquila and Priscilla, said he went and disputed with the Jews. Go ahead.
And with the devout person.
And with the devout people, he was debating with them. Were they putting hands on each other and fighting and beating each other? No. They were cussing each other out? No. But in some cities, they did want to kill Paul, because that's where the debates got, where they couldn't resist the wisdom. They would try to stone Paul, where we saw them stone Stephen. Now watch this. Go to 2 Corinthians 2 12 and verse 20. Romans 1:29.
2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 20.
Right?
For I fear, lest when I come, I shall not find you such as I would,
Right?
and that I shall be found of you, unto you, such as ye would not.
Come on.
Lest there be debates.
At least there be what?
Debates.
Totally different word. This is G2054. It says eres, strife, discord, contention. Totally different word. Same English word though. Totally different Greek word. Romans 1:29.
Romans chapter 1, verse 29.
Uh-huh.
Being filled with all unrighteousness,
Come on.
fornication,
Uh-huh.
wickedness,
Right?
covetousness,
Come on.
maliciousness,
Come on.
full of envy,
Uh-huh.
murder,
Uh-huh.
debate,
Of what?
debate.
Right. Same word. G2054. You can always look these things up. Just get you a lexicon. Look up the words. Same word. Full of strife, discord, contention. And you can see it from what the scripture is already saying. Within the context of the scripture is letting you know that the debate here is negative. right? Because of the other surrounding ideas. Murder, negative. Deceit, negative. Envy, malicious, covetousness, right? So debate is not wrong. The Most High don't hate debate. What he doesn't want is for us to strive and debate to a point where now I gotta kill you because you don't believe in my theology. Because we don't share the same doctrine or you don't believe in my doctrine, all of a sudden now I gotta treat you a certain way. That's what he don't want, right? You can hold to your doctrine, I hold to mine, and we can still be cool. But if the debate turns into where now it's physical, we gotta kill you, I'm gonna pull up, when that, Most High don't want that. Many debates, you can see many very informative, structured, formal debates. White man does it all the time to bring out certain informations and to debunk certain informations and to uplift certain informations. Israelites do it all the time to debunk a lot of doctrines that are out there and to bring out a lot of edifying doctrines. So, everybody get that? Right. Hopefully the brother online. Okay, Proverbs 25 means if your brother offend you, go to him alone. Proverbs 25 and 20. Okay, sir. Proverbs 25 and 8 and 9. Right. But it still says to debate your cause. Right? And we understand that. Right? That if you have a problem with a man, you go to him. You debate your cause. Right? Not in a way of, that's why verse 8 is so important. Let's go back there real quick. Let's just make sure that we understand it. Because I'm agreeing with you, but what I'm saying is, just off your first general statement, the Most High don't hate debate. He wants you to go to your brother and produce your cause. Debate your cause, yes. I think you're looking at the word debate in a negative sense here. Right? It's not negative here if I'm going one-on-one and following what the Bible says. This is where it's negative. Read verse 8.
Proverbs chapter 25, verse 8.
Uh-huh.
Go not forth hastily to strive.
That's where it's negative to debate, because now you're striving. Now we're striving. And we know strife leads to contention, and that can lead to physical altercations, like we just read in Romans 1:29 and 2 Corinthians. Jump down to verse 9.
Verse 9. Debate thy cause.
Do what?
Debate thy cause.
What does it mean to debate thy cause in verse 9? It means to plead. Not to strive, not to fight, not to argue. If I'm pleading with you, I say, hey, brother, this is the situation we going through. This is how I'm feeling. What say ye? That's how you would do that. You would plead your cause. Like if you go into a courtroom and stand before a judge, you're debating technically with the judge because you're pleading your cause against that case, right? Oh, I got a speeding ticket, but I wasn't speeding. I'm going to the judge. So you're in there for speeding. Did you speed? No, I didn't speed. But are you fighting the judge? Are you beating up the judge? No. Are you getting rowdy with the judge? Hell no. You want your best behavior up in there, but you're still pleading, right? Don't they use that terminology in court? What do you plead?
The fifth.
Huh?
The fifth.
Fifth. What do you plead? Guilty or not guilty? What do you debate? Guilty or not guilty? So the word is a word that can be used in a negative sense or in a positive sense. Just hear me out. The word has context. You have to understand context, okay, and what it's saying. The same word is used in two scriptures with two different English translations. So what does that tell us? That we have to understand how the word is being used, right? This is, let's see here, Isaiah 21, making mockery of the heathen. You're right. Right. That's what he's doing. So hopefully you understand that the word, you have to look at what it's saying in the context. Look the words up. It's okay. Look up the Hebrew, look up the Greek. They use two different Greek words to articulate the word debate. You see that? It's two different words. What's that?
I got a definition for strife.
What you got?
It says strife is a bitter conflict.
A bitter conflict. See that? So verse 8 saying, don't be bitter towards your brother, because we learned that from Leviticus about grudging and bitterness. Right? Didn't we just read that in Romans 1:29? Didn't it say something about being bitter? Right? Full of envy, deceit, whispers, backbite, haters, disrespectful, proud, boasters. Maybe I'm making it up. Right? I think it was something that you had. Go ahead. Bitter conflict.
Or dissension.
Or dissension. Right? We're dissension, not where, it's breaking up the unities. Right? Go ahead.
While a debate is a formal discussion.
While a debate is a what?
Is a formal discussion.
Remember in school you had debate club? Who was part of the debate club? And I think your pa's you were part of the debate club, and how'd it go? You said your piece?
Yeah.
And you had to do what when the other person was speaking?
We would take turns. They would go first, and then we would go.
Right, but you weren't talking over each other to make it contentious. That's the difference. Well, okay, I got this scripture. It says this. Read it, break it down. What you got? Well, I got this one that says this. But if I start talking over you, now it becomes contentious. But it's not wrong to debate. Debate thy cause with thy brother alone. So yes, it is saying to go to him alone, but it's still telling you how to do it. Not in a striving, bitter way, but in a, hey, I'm feeling like this. He hears you out. You give him a chance to respond. You hear him out, and you can go back and forth to get some type of resolve. That's how debates are supposed to be, right? I haven't seen it. I don't call a debate if it's back and forth yelling and screaming. That ain't no debate. And I listen to many debates. And brothers bring out clear, clean points. You've seen like top scholars and professors, they debate a topic. But they say a formal debate because in a formal debate, I got 10 minutes to present my ideas. You got to shut up. Then you got 10 minutes to present your ideas or debunk my ideas. But I got to shut up. And we do that for a few times, and then we come to a conclusion. Right? What else you got?
It says
Two more verses.
a formal discussion where people express different opinions. A debate can lead to strife.
A debate can lead to what?
Can lead to strife.
Come on.
If it becomes disrespectful or overly passionate.
That's the point. When you start throwing the ad homs and your mama this and your mom, that's when it can be now striving. But you can be edified in a debate, right? If the debaters are about the information and not about the antics, you can learn something from a debate, right? So debate is not bad, it's not wicked. God don't hate it. He hates strife and contention amongst his people. But he sent Paul on a mission to go debate inside those synagogues and go back and forth with those men. Now, again, it's the way he did it, and it's the way we look at the word. I hope y'all understand. Zion. Zion! I hope you're feeling better, my bro. But foolish and unknown questions avoid knowing that they gender strifes. And the servant of the Lord must not strive. See that? They must not strive. But watch this. Watch this. 2 Timothy 2:24. Let's just look at that word real quick. Because it's going to have a totally different meaning. Right? 2 verse 24. And then it will be contradictory if... Who wrote Timothy's?
Paul.
It would be contradictory if Paul is telling Timothy don't strive, but then he was doing it. His ministry was about going back and forth in the word. So he would be contradicting his whole self. I'm gonna do it, but then Timothy, don't do that. Nah, the strife was that contentious, anger, bitter debate. I mean, y'all get that, right? I know everybody in here gets it. Hopefully the brother online, hopefully my bro gets it. It's just one of those teaching tools, right? 224, let me look at this real quick. So, must not strive. Yeah, totally different word. G3164, Machomiai. to fight, to quarrel, to strive. Engage in battle, fight, hence, strive, contend, dispute. That's what it means, but that's a definition, right? So this is going more into a physical sense of the word. Now we're fighting physically. So that's what a servant of the Lord must not do. He must not fight, put his hands on people, right? In that sense. But I mean, we dispute the word all the time, right? We stand up for the word all the time. So y'all get that, right? All right. I think that's it. Colossians. Right, yeah, Zion got 2 more precepts. Zion's throwing precepts in there, he's gonna have us here for another 4 hours. Hopefully everybody got that. Yes, sir, thank you. Right, what's today, Wednesday? Yeah, so if there's nothing else online, nothing else in here, we are going to say shalom.
Shalom.